This video is to show Work Together, Chapter 2, Lesson 1 problem on page 46 of your Century 21 Accounting Advanced book, edition 11. So, we will journalize the transactions completed during September, post items, and the sales tax rate is 8%. And what we really need to know is that we're journalizing and posting departmental sales on account and sales returns and allowances. So let's get started. On the 3rd, we sold a desk on account to LKL Products for $1,415 plus sales tax. So we'll go to our sales journal. The date was September 3rd. It was to LKL Products. And we had sale number 422. And the total was for desks $1,415. Sales tax payable will be 8% or 0.08 times that amount of $1,415. And then we'll just add these two things together for the accounts receivable debit, because our debits must equal the total of our credits, right? And now we'll post this to LKL Products, so $1,528.20. So we'll go down to our accounts receivable ledger, $1,528.20. Our new debit balance will add to the old debit balance. And this was on the 3rd of September. And it was from Sales Journal, page 3, I believe. So now we'll put customer number 130. Back here in our posting reference. And we'll do our next one. On the 6th, sold a chair on account to United Charities. $310. It's tax exempt, so no sales tax on this one. Sales invoice 423. Come back to our sales journal. This was on the 6th to United Charities. And 423 was our sales invoice. This time, our accounts receivable debit will be the total amount, the $310, because there is no sales tax. And we can go ahead and post this to United Charities. And we'll go to our accounts receivable ledger, to United Charities, down at the bottom, on the 6th. From Sales Journal, page 3. The debit is $310. Our new debit balance, add to the old one. Don't always take the suggestions. That one was wrong, so I didn't use it. Add them together. Account number 140 is where we posted to. We'll put that there. Next day, sold it's the 11th. Sold 3 desks on account to Grayson for $2,400 plus sales tax. Okay. So then we'll go back to the sales journal on the 11th. Grayson Inc. Sales journal 424. There will be tax on this one, and Grayson Inc. bought desks, so $2,400 there. Your sales tax payable is, they suggest 0.08 times H9. They're correct. Should be 192. We'll add those two things together, F9 and H9. Yep, that's the right thing, so you can just press tab if the formula is correct. Now we'll post that to Grayson in the accounts receivable ledger. On the 11th, from Sales Journal, page 3, we have a debit of $25.92. New debit balance. Add that one to it. Account number 120 was posted. And then on the 23rd, we'll go back here. I'll show you. Oh, we have to grant credit to Grayson first. For one of the desks sold, $800 plus sales tax. Okay. So this time we will go to our general journal. And the date is September with a 16th. So if it's granting credit, we'll use sales returns and allowances. And this was for desks that Grayson bought. We also are going to have to debit sales tax payable. That will reduce that account. And then we will credit accounts receivable, Grayson Inc. So this will reduce each one of these things because we're granting credit. Our book told us it was credit memo 45. And so our debit amount was $800. So the sales tax payable associated with that would be 0.08 times the 800. So $64. And so your credit must equal the total of all your debits. So we'll add those together. $864 is what that will be reduced by. So we'll quickly post these. Sales returns and allowances for desks, $800. So we'll go back to our general ledger on the 16th. And this was from general ledger, page 6. And we'll have a debit of $800. Oh, I'm on sales, not sales returns and allowances. We'll just paste this down here. And the debit was $800. And our new balance is there. 4215 is our number that we'll put back in the general journal. But that's not the only. That one is the only spot it gets posted. Just kidding. Now sales tax payable, $64. Again, we'll go to the general ledger. The 16th from general journal, page 6. And a debit of $64. And our credit balance, we will be subtracting that $64 debit. And account number 2110. And now accounts receivable, Grayson, $864 credit. So Grayson on the 16th from G6, $864. We'll have to subtract that from the normal debit balance of a receivable. Account number 120. In the posting reference. But we also have to do the accounts receivable count on this one. So $864 credit was on the 16th from G6, and the debit balance will be reduced by that amount. Account number 1205. Okay, now our next number, the 23rd, sold 10 chairs to LKL Products, $3,650 plus tax. So we'll go back to our sales journal. 23rd, LKL Products again. We are at sales invoice 425. And the total amount of sales for chairs was $3,650. We will add tax of 0.08 times the $3,650. And now we'll just go ahead and add those together to get our total accounts receivable debit. They owe $3,942. So we will post that $3,942 on the accounts receivable ledger on the 23rd from S3, $3,942. So our debit balance and account number 130 is where we put it. All right. So now we should be back in our instructions. Granted credit to Davenport for a defective chair, $75 plus the sales tax, credit memorandum 46. So we'll go back to our general journal on the 27th. Sales, returns, and allowances. And this time it was for a chair and sales tax payable. And then accounts receivable, Davenport. All right, credit memorandum 46. So our chair return amount was $75. The tax associated with that is 75 times 0.08. And then the total, we'll just add them together, is how much accounts receivable will be reduced by. I'm going to quickly post these. $75 to sales, returns, and allowances. Chairs. Add those together. This was from General Journal, page 6. I believe it was the 27th. And account number 4115 will go here. Sales tax payable, $6. Debit. And $6. For our normal credit balance account, it will subtract. 2110 is our account number. We'll put that here to show that we have posted. And accounts receivable, Davenport. Accounts receivable ledger, we go to Davenport Corporation on the 27th from G6. They will have a credit, the total amount of 81. So we'll reduce the balance and account number 110. But we also have to post this to the accounts receivable account. So it's the 27th from G6, a credit of 81. Account number 1205. So we've been through all of this. Now we just have to prove and rule the sales journal and post those totals to the general ledger. So we'll go to sales journal. We'll do an equals sum to add them all up. And we'll just drag that across. And to show that it's totals, we will probably bold them and put some double underlines. Okay, and we'll write totals. And this is the last day of the month, so the 30th for September. Now we just have to post these. $83.72.20 to the accounts receivable. So on the 30th, from page S3, we had a debit of $83.72.20. We'll go ahead and add that to our previous debit. And I'm running low on time, so I'm going to post the rest of these just like this. So that was account number 1205. And then I will show you the end screen here. Okay, so here is how your sales journal should look with all of these posting references down here for your columns. You know, just post once instead of posting each individual transaction for those special columns. Here's how your general journal should look at the end. No changes there. Final balances and accounts receivable. And finally, your general ledger.